Yo, what is good, my anime faithful? What is good, yo? So, we have just watched ourselves some Doctor Stone, and it was actually pretty hype. Um, the show is definitely something that I could probably not even do on my channel because to be fair, if anybody's watching Dr. Stone, it kind of is like sums up itself relatively easily for people to understand in the grand scheme of not needing to ask like much questions of the overall narrative or even where the main characters, actual thought processes are aligning. And I also say that because it's just not a lot of people like watch reviews of Doctor Stone in general, seemingly, or maybe there's just mine. I don't know, but I don't really care at the as the point because if I can watch Doctor Stone and still enjoy the show, and people don't really care if I put it on my channel, then why would I waste my time putting it up when I can, relax and put up other stuff and have some time off from all these shows. So if this review and stuff doesn't do as well as, like for instance, a show that isn't nearly as popular or nearly as good looking at that. I mean, this show looks so freaking crispy this week, and it's kind of funny to me that people are not, giving it that much attention, which is fine. I think it's going to be another one of those shows that people are going to be like, "Oh, well, I didn't know this show was good and that I should be keeping up with it." Like, for instance, Hunter x Hunter, no one knew that show was going to be as good as it was going to be, seeing how the only people who really knew were people who have kept up with the manga and seen where the potential was lying and stuff like that. So, there's things that this show is already kind of dictating, in my opinion, for me in general, just for the simple fact of I know what uh what I expect from like a good show and like the how much content should come with a good show. So to see all of those things like falling in line like really well this in this Dr. Stone show is clear to me that they are putting in quite a bit of work, and that's what I truly been asking for. Like the story, the way that this stuff is setting up overall, like it's getting really, really hype. And because it's getting hype, it feels like there's not much that I need to worry about when it comes down to the overall storytelling. The only thing I will say that was kind of weird was now that we have kind of separated ourselves from the man who wants to control it all, it it, it made it really hard for me to believe how quickly he understood, the threats and the level of just like urgency of what our Dr. Stone guy is doing. For instance, he already knows that the one thing that could probably stop him is gunpowder or some way of making weapons that are much much stronger than any humans, or at least quicker than any humans can react to and stuff like that. So to think that he's made these correlations, it isn't like too far fetched because I mean he's dealing with a guy who wants to bring science, like he's trying to bring everybody in humanity back. He's trying to do better uh by the world, by trying to at least make sure humanity gets back to where it's supposed to be, civilization at least. So all of those things are, this ridiculously strong guy is pretty much just like, okay, he is literally going to go to a place where he can make gunpowder, and not only can he make gunpowder, he made it look like he was in a panic, so I would think they were in a panic so they can then pull a quick one on me. Like everything that he planned to hope for to like fall in place and get away with, literally none of it works because the guy just knows somehow. So that was my only like little tiniest gripe that I had with the that narrative of it. Like, not only is he the strongest person, like primate, supposedly he's also highly intelligent to the point of we pretty much befriended the wrong, blockhead, single-minded guy. But to be fair, to see our guy who straight up, will pretty much take our side at a drop of any hat. He's always going to be there for the main Psyche guy or what Seiji. Um, he's always going to be there for him, and that was the most dopest part about it is because he's like, well, what do you feel about this guy? I don't believe a 1 centimeter or like a 1 millimeter of his, ideals of how he sees things being handled. And he's like, okay, like fine by me. Like let's get it. Let's get what we need to get done here, and not not get involved in that. And that was very very telling of just how the story should play out in the grand scheme of if that changes it in any way, shape, or form. Like imagine what would have to happen for him to disbelieve or discredit the person who has practically gotten him as far as possible at this point. So it would be pretty dumb in my opinion for that to oh I meant to kill that guy. It'd be pretty dumb for him to just, drop off because of like something small happens or something along those lines. So it feels like something big would have to occur for these two to separate. And then not only that, we now also have the fact that our our main guy got his girl, and she also kind of saw something that gave them the indication of a Buddha statue to even be able to understand where their locations were. So by finding this statue, they knew where this landmark should be placed, and they also could then predict where a hot spring would be, which then they could get black powder from it to make guns. And the best part is he's talking about making like a pistol and stuff when to be fair, you ain't making no pistol, okay? You ain't making anything remotely close to that type of stuff unless he's just that god tier. And I only say that because if you look at all the stuff you would need to like actually make a real like pistol or something along those lines, it would be pretty crazy to see how much stuff you actually need. Um, so to know that he's not going to make necessarily a pistol. He's going to make like uh, a musket or something along that line. He already made a crossbow that failed, but to be fair, it only failed because they're going against someone who's unnaturally beyond like superhuman. So, because that's the case, it only makes sense that there was no way of stopping a monster like him. Like, there was no way you were going to get the upper hand on him. There was no way you were even going to, like, phase him with a crossbow at that point. Not only does he grab this arrow out of the air that's flying at him at like 200 kilometers per second or something fast, he then slams the arrow in the ground, has enough time to then kick the guy who is pushing at him, and the only reason why people might say, oh, the only reason why he got to kick him before he did anything was because he wasn't going to fight him in the first place. It's like, no, idiot. He still was going to run up and grab him at least. He wasn't going to hit him. He wasn't going to punch him. But if he could grab him and subdue him and hold him down or something, that would leave him unable to destroy the bodies and destroy different people who are still made of stone, which this man goes on a stone killing spree. Like, he has no chill. He literally goes and makes this really good necklace for someone like a kid that he doesn't even know, and then at the same time probably murdered those kids' parents at the same time after not saving them, but after making this shell. Like, that's how corrupted he is. And that's what people have to understand about his character already is like, oh, he wants to save the world from corruption. It's like, but you're more corrupted than anybody right now. So how do you save the world from yourself? And that's something this guy would probably never even think of, right? There's no reason for him to go into a hypothetical where he's the problem, because how could he be the problem when he's the one showing up and saving everybody? That's how these crazies be thinking at times, and I can already kind of read it off of this scenario that if that is the case and he's like, "Hey, you're doing really wrong," I'd be like, like, are you sure about that? Let's see. If I win, I'm doing wrong. If you win, you're doing wrong. Oh, I won. I'm right. You die. You know what I mean? Like that's the type of backward savage world this guy probably would love to live in. If you're strong enough to prove your point, which it's kind of what he expected the adults to do once they get back. Oh, they're gonna want their land back. They're gonna want this and that back. It's like, but what you're doing is not even you're not even doing that, and you're still like murdering. You're killing people that didn't even do anything, or that can't even defend themselves, let alone do anything. So it really was freaking me out to see how like confident this guy was at doing this like disgusting stuff, to people who are still alive, seeing how he was in the same stone and ended up being alive. So why is it any different now that, you know, uh, oh my God, you stupid girl. That what's her face? He's like, you saved her and brought her back. You need to protect her. But if you get in my way, or he's like, what if I told you I'm gonna kill her? You know what I mean? Like he doesn't have any type of chill, and I think that's the problem with him. Like in the grand scheme of things, he's just a problem, and because of that, it shows heavily when we all know how ridiculously strong and like agile he is. So when it comes down to the overall fight, who's gonna stop this man? And is the science and all that stuff actually going to give them that advantage, or is it just going to put them in a position where they still have to deal with even more people now? Because imagine that he was going to destroy everybody, but then finding out that our guy is making science or science weapons to fight literally just him. What if he starts allowing science and stuff like that as long as it's under his thumb, as long as it's under his watch? Then you guys can have science. Then you guys can, look towards making some type of civilization. But until then, you need to follow all these rules. If you don't follow all these rules, you will get bodied. And then not only that, he also gets to have somebody who's working on something like that for him to, defend himself against the science weapons that are going to be used against him. So I'm just truly curious how this all is going to play out, man. I am here for the ride, and the ride is already getting very bumpy with how these characters are colliding with each other. So with all that being said, I can't wait to see what you guys are feeling about it, or let me know if this is just not even something you guys care about seeing on the channel. Because regardless of that, I will still be watching and enjoying it, so it won't stop me from enjoying an anime, but it will give me time to relax and chill back if it's not something you guys even care to watch. So let me know in the comments down below if you are enjoying it, or just by likes alone kind of shows that as well. Like, I know you guys enjoy me talking about the muscle show, that working out and stuff, just by the likes alone. There's 4 likes and 0 dislikes, so I know what you guys are clearly enjoying and what you clearly want to see more of. So that being said, I just want to just say that I appreciate you guys regardless of whatever I get to drop on the channel that you guys watch or enjoy. It doesn't matter to me because this channel is just here to talk to you guys, and if I have videos going up I don't even get to talk to people about, then that's when it feels pointless to me, in the sense of, am I not even paying attention to my audience because they're not even really into this. So again, that's just my thought process out in the open instead of just hiding it from you guys. But with all that being said, I hope you have an amazing day, night, evening, whatever the case may be. I am your boy, the Anime G, and I hope to talk to you guys very soon because I still haven't seen JoJo. Like, where is JoJo? I need the JoJo. It's an hour-long special, and I think it might get a Fire Force delay, maybe. I just while I was making my other two videos, I did not know about the Fire Force delay, and it looks like because of what happened, they won't either be airing it today, or this week, I should say, and they'll air it next week. So prayers go out to them, and if they do wind up airing it, I will do a review on that. So yeah, with all that being said, have an awesome one, and peace.